Here's a standout salad showcasing potatoes and tuna. I love this salad because it's such a crowd pleaser. I'm also going to add some beans to this. So what I've done is cooked some Kipfler potatoes. I love tiny little potatoes for this. The waxier they are, the better. And I've left their skins on. Now, when you're boiling potatoes for a potato salad like this, I highly recommend not peeling them. You want to retain as much flavour in them as possible. So leave the skins on, place them in a pot of tap water, bring them up to the boil. By doing that, you're going to cook them really evenly. And because they're so small, these only took 10 minutes to cook once it came up to the boil. So I've taken them out of the water. They're still nice and warm. I love a potato salad when it's warm. We'll put them to the side for a moment and then we can add our beans. So into some rapidly boiling water, and the beans take no time at all to cook. Okay. Good pinch of salt in there too. Now, while they're boiling away, we can make a really quick sauce to bring everything together. Into a blender, I'll add some mayonnaise. So some whole egg mayonnaise. Of course, you can make this from scratch if you like. And to give it a bit of piquancy, I'm going to add some Dijon mustard. You could also add some horseradish to this too if you want to spice it up. And I've done this before with wasabi, another delicious alternative. We need a little zing, so I'm adding some red wine vinegar. And then the tuna, I'm going to be using it in two ways here. I'm going to be adding it to the salad, but also to the dressing. It's going to thicken up the dressing and give it a really lovely flavour. So I'll add good quality tuna. I'm using tuna that's in spring water, so it's not going to be too oily. And I don't want it to be oily because we've also got the mayonnaise there. So we want about a third of this can, some freshly cracked pepper, and just a tiny bit of salt. Now I'm going to blend everything together until it's smooth. Now, if it does get too thick, don't worry, just add a splash of water and it'll thin out until it's a sauce consistency. All right, let's have a look at this. Look at that. See how smooth it's become? Just right. Okay, we'll pop that to one side, and while these potatoes are still warm, I'm just going to cut them in half. You can leave them whole if you like, but I want it to absorb as much of this tuna sauce as possible, and they'll go back into the bowl, and we just have to wait for our beans to finish cooking. All right, let's check out these beans. We'll turn the water off. And I'm going to add them straight to our potatoes because I want this to be nice and warm. And I like my beans to still have a slight crunch to them, so they don't need to boil for too long at all. Okay, we're just going to give that a toss, and I'm going to add some French shallot. You could also use some spring onions for this, a couple of spoonfuls. I love the saltiness of some capers, so a couple of tablespoons of capers. You could also add some different herbs to this. Parsley, dill, fantastic. Even basil and mint, delicious with the tuna. Okay, the remaining tuna in our can, we can add that. Just flake it up. So it's a really hearty salad. And I'm just going to toss this together. And this is where all the magic happens, adding this thick, creamy tuna dressing. Because those potatoes are hot, it's just going to absorb all the beautiful flavour of this dressing. I like a good hit of freshly cracked pepper, and we'll toss everything together. Okay, let's plate this up. Big, generous serving bowl. And we'll just pile everything in the centre. You can see it's a super rustic salad, but all of these flavours go together so well. Lots of those beans on top, and those capers, show them off. And the last little thing I want to add to this is some soft boiled eggs, a great addition. You could chop them up and mix them through, but I want to show them off on the top. So cutting them in half, look at that, gooey centre. So I'll add 2 of these and we'll just dot them in and around the plate. A delicious salad showcasing tuna. I've always got a can of tuna in my pantry because it is so versatile. Whether it's just a simple tuna sandwich or an elevated salad just like this, it is such a crowd pleaser.